Good evening, Wildcats. I'm Zathras, and I'm here with Peep Noop, and we're gonna be streaming our Overwatch match tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that this match is going to go pretty well for them. I was hearing that their last game was a little rough, so we'll see
So,
how it goes.
for those of you who are wondering why we're starting when we are, we weren't able to stream the first match against Michigan. We have to get permission from the other team in order to do so. And tonight we didn't get that from our Michigan team, but we did get it from our New York team that we're going to be playing against.
That's
Tonight
right.
the Wildcats are going to be taking on the NYU Ultraviolets. And so it should be an exciting match. The Ultraviolets appear to be a really great team. With some really strong players, and so we'll see how things go tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to definitely be a trial for our team to make sure that they can hold up to the rankings of the NYU team.
So, for those of them that are just joining us, let's talk a little bit about our team tonight. So, the team is led. Our captain is Bobby Stewart, or Mr. Bob Sparks. He is the DPS player for the team. He's a junior financial management major, and he favors Genji, Hanzo, Tracer, but really kind of goes all over the place.
Yeah, those three are definitely going to be his strongest DPS that we'll see from him tonight. He might end up switching over, maybe playing some McCree or maybe some Soldier, but he's a very versatile DPS, and having played with him personally, he's definitely gonna probably pop off a lot as Genji tonight. So
Great. So next up, we've got Jacob Hansen, or Finch of Light, who is one of our support players on the ACU team, favoring Mercy, Zenyatta, Anna, but he also has a really good Brigitte that he plays as
yeah,
well.
so typically Jacob likes to hang around the main support roles, so he'll probably be sticking to Mercy for most of the match. But if he feels like that Brig's gonna be really helpful, he might play it. So.
Okay. And next we've got Ryan Shaw is not playing tonight, from what I understand. So Seeds is not going to be in. I hear he's going to be somewhere else.
Oh,
So we just heard that he is going to be in tonight, so that's really exciting.
that's good.
He's a great DPS member of this team. Really favors the Reaper. Is really good at that, but also plays some Widow, some Junkrat, and also has some flexibility on some of those other teams.
Yep. In addition to that, like his SR is definitely the highest of everybody on the team. So
Sure.
against these higher ranks, he might be a pretty valuable asset to have, but also it still just comes down to whatever that team comp is.
Yeah. So next, Diego Sanchez, or Paco de Taco. He is the other tank on the team, or the first tank. He generally plays the off tank, playing Zarya a lot. He's really getting really good at that Zarya play. Or if they're playing dive, we might see him on the Winston.
Yeah, he's really starting to branch out a bit more. I know in the past he has stuck pretty closely to that Zarya play, but his Winston is definitely getting up there too. So.
Great. And our second tank, our main tank of the night, is going to be David Pape, or Lindis, is who we'll see tonight. He really favors that Reinhardt. We'll also switch over to the Orisa, depending on the map. Or if they're playing dive, we'll probably see him on the Diva.
Yeah. And being a Ryan player myself, his Ryan is definitely on point. He's got some nice fat shatters every now and then, and just been able to pick those targets out well and open up a lot of space for his DPS.
Great. Next up, Evan Mullen. Hard Cakes is our second support, playing the Moira or the Lucio, or also switching over to the Brigitte.
Yeah, he's a very versatile secondary support. So if they need a little bit more damage or a little bit more AoE healing, or just need to just get in everybody's face, then he's probably going to be the one to look for that.
Let's talk a little bit about the Ultraviolets. So our information is obviously limited. We don't know these players.
No.
They're in New York. We're in Abilene, Texas.
It's a long way away.
Yeah, but we can see some of their stuff by looking at what they typically play online, looking at their ranks. This is going to be a really rough match for them tonight, I think.
I think it will be. And just looking at the sheet here, the thing that sticks out the most to me is one of their DPS, Emmanuel Kant. He plays the Doomfist, and if you can't shut down a good Doomfist, I mean, that's just going to destroy your back line, and you're not going to have any healers for any team fights.
So how do you think ACU will need to adapt to counter that
I
Doomfist play?
think definitely being able to just have some long range DPS that can kind of sit back a little bit more, or maybe their tanks just being able to call out and open up that space so that they can focus down that Doomfist before he even gets to that back line.
Great, great. So the ranking here on this New York team is pretty solid.
Yeah,
But as we all know, ranking isn't everything, right?
right.
Where what I expect to see here, what's really going to hold ACU together is if they stick together as a team,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, if they just keep their heads on straight, don't let the pressure get to them too much, not let those little four numbers of everybody on that other team get in the way, I think they'll give up a pretty good fight there.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the maps that we're going to see tonight. We're going to kick things off on Eichenwald. So Eichenwald is a hybrid map. That means that you first have to capture the payload at the start, and then you push the payload as far as you can. Then each team has a certain time in the time bank. They'll swap sides as once one team has been held off or made it all the way to the end, and it's a matter of who can get the most points within that time bank. So, what do you think ACU is going to need to do here on Eichenwald to secure a victory?
So I think definitely on their attack here, they're going to have something that can just push in as hard as possible to get past that first point, especially with the other team having a lot of good Genji players and a lot of good Hanzo players from the looks of it. Those are going to be used to shut down pretty much any push that they get. So I definitely expect to see probably a Rein Zarya combo coming from them to just get those bubbles on each other and just pushing in, getting that Graviton Surge up as quickly as possible. I also expect to see probably a Tracer, maybe a Reaper or Junkrat on attacking as well. Those will be good to just get a lot of damage in there.
Yeah, so we'll probably see Mr. Bob Sparks playing that Tracer, I
Yes.
suspect, and then either a Reaper or a Junkrat coming in from seeds on this map.
Yeah. As far as defense goes, it's pretty much just a mirror match, really, for our team. They'll probably have to play a pretty similar comp to what they're going to be attacking with, just because they don't really have much to just hold down that point like a Doomfist would be, to just get in there and just slam them all down. So we'll see how it goes.
Let's talk about our second map tonight. Our second map tonight is going to be Nepal. And so Nepal is a control map. And so that means that we've got 3 different sub maps within the main map of Nepal. And so we'll see Sanctum, and I can't remember the names of the other
Sanctum, Village, and Temple, I think, might be the last one.
And so we'll see some variation, probably, depending on which of those. The point of a control map is that you take control as kind of a king of the hill. In the center of the map, you have to build up, take that point, and then you start building percentage. And the first team to get to 100% wins that particular map, and it's the best 2 out of 3 on that those 3 maps. So I expect, if we see a Sanctum's got the giant pit of death.
Yes, that giant pit of death is known well. We'll probably see maybe a Hog, definitely probably a Narissa from Lindis out there tonight. As for our DPS, we will probably see some hit scan out there, because that map can also be pretty deadly for Afara, even though it is an indoor map. So we'll see how that goes. Additionally, the other 2 maps in this are also a very good map for having that Pharah up in the air. So a hit scan is definitely going to be needed on these maps.
Okay, so our third map that we'll see tonight is Temple of Anubis. This is an assault map, and so what that means is that the teams will have to take a first point and then take a second point. Again, they have a time bank, and they get as many chances as their time allows to take those 2 points, and in the end, whoever takes the most points within their time bank will secure that victory. So what kind of compositions do you expect to see on Temple of Anubis tonight?
So everybody likes to expect to see Afara, whether it's on defense or on offense. I don't think we'll see one of those tonight. Our team might end up thinking that New York might be running Afara, so we might see some hit scan off the bat for that. But I also expect it to change very quickly to just getting some more tank shredders in there, because if you have a good push with 2 good tanks, then you can just get in there and get both those points with easily 6 minutes left. So we might see some goats on that map. We might not. It just all depends on what that team decides to push with.
So let's talk a little bit about goats, because goats is the big thing in the meta right now. So
Right.
what is goats?
So goats, you're typically wanting to run just the most brawl-heavy dive comp that you can. So you're typically looking at having a Lucio, a Brigida, or even a Moira or a Mercy as a healer. You don't absolutely need to have all three of those, but generally that helps. And then your other three, you're running three tanks. You're running either a Zarya, Roadhog, Diva combo, or just Zarya Winston Diva. Those are generally your two that you're going to see. It's just all out dive, get in there, cap the point before the other team even has a chance to react.
All right. So our tiebreaker map tonight, if we get there, will be Lijiang Tower, and it's another control map similar to Nepal. But we'll see that only if we get a draw, which I think can happen on the
I believe it's
assault
only
maps.
Anubis is the only one that could happen.
Yeah, so we could theoretically see a draw on Anubis, and if we're 1-1 when we get there, we'll see Lijiang Tower. It's a control map, which means that we can't draw on that, and that'll be the decider for that victory.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what we would expect if we got there. By the time we get to that map, we'll see different comps from both teams, and they'll start adapting. So we might see the same thing as the other three maps. We might see something completely different from both teams, but that one's all up in the air. So we'll see how that goes if we get there.
All right. Well, I'm really excited. It's going to be a great set of matches,
Yeah.
and we'll get right into it as soon as we come back. All right, we are loaded in. Our first map here, like we said, is going to be an Eichenwald. One of the things about spectating during these TeSPA matches, we're only actually allowed to spectate the ACU team, which kind of limits what we are allowed to see on the screen. But as they select heroes, we just kind of get a nice alley view here.
That's not too bad. You get to see all the destruction that happened. All right.
Okay, so it looks like ACU's running Anna and Brigitte.
Got that Rhine Zarya on the tanks there, as well as the Junkrat, and who is that last DPS gonna be? It looks like that a Widow or a Sombra, maybe?
It looks like a Sombra to me.
Yes,
there
it is. All right.
Mr. Bob Sparks running the new bride skin for Sombra.
I've been seeing a lot of Sombra from him lately, and if he's managing to get those hacks pretty well, then this could be a pretty good hold for them.
So what do we expect to see here from this Sombra play? Well, so we'll obviously hack those packs right at the start so that our team gets better healing from them.
Yeah, so I expect him to, go right in and hack that full health pack so that they have that for themselves and the other team can't have that. He's also going to be very, very helpful in getting to that back line and just hacking out their healers, or if they have anybody that's just going to CC them like crazy.
So we see the other team moving in quickly around that left side, establishing themselves forward on the point to get as far as possible. Our Reinhardt has already gone down.
Yeah, that Brigitte stun right there is going to be very painful for them. Sure enough, our Brig goes down.
Paco de Taco falls as well. This
With a
looks like it's going
self-kill,
to be a quick point A from the New York team.
And that is why you got to be able to hold that point so tight. They just dove in too fast for our ACU to even handle it.
So ACU is now going to set up here, probably to try and hold at this archway. As the cart comes around, that door is going to open up, and this is going to be where ACU is going to try to hold them right here at this choke.
Oh, that beautiful hook on the D.Va, but can't capitalize on getting that D.Va out of mech. They're going to have to switch over to something to deal with that Pharah flying up in the air, otherwise that's just going to be 3 kills.
Got this tire coming out from Seeds, but it sees no...
With a beautiful pick from a Widow there.
So the New York team is just pushing forward, creeping along. ACU not doing much, being able to hold much to keep that from going. He's got that charge in from Lindis that doesn't connect with anyone and just kind of gets him out of pocket so that he can't support the rest of his team.
And that changeover to the Genji might be helpful to help with that Pharah, but if they have that Widow, he's just going to be tight every single time like that.
We saw the ultimate coming out from the New York Mercy, keeping that team alive as ACU tries to hold them back.
Yeah, this Widow
Paco
just keeps on taking them down.
And we see Paco just trying to keep this team back a little bit. They do make a little bit of room. So we get that D.Va ultimate from the New York team, but it doesn't really connect with too many folks. It does take out the Reaper from the ACU side.
That's a really scary hook there when you end up hooking a D.Va bomb right into your team. So it's a good thing that ACU was able to fan out there and not get too many picks.
But then the New York Pharah manages to get a barrage off, taking down 3 of ACU's team members.
Linda's just getting out of there as fast as possible, trying to regroup with his team. But he's still going to end up going down.
And Vintenark from that New York team is really just picking off ACU with those headshots.
Widow is one of his top 3 players, so that was absolutely expected to see on this map.
See if ACU can just gain a little bit of time here holding this point. So they're going to try to stall out right here at the end. Paco de Taco taking out his ultimate, trying to push a couple people off the ledge.
He does get that Winston off the ledge, though.
He's trying to dodge this D.Va bomb, but doesn't really know where it was at.
It was just fell from the sky. I had no idea where that was coming from.
So New York pushing in, taking a quick second point from the ACU team.
See that ACU switched over to that McCree, maybe hoping to get some sort of pick on that Pharah. I don't know how useful she's going to be here on the inside part, but we'll see what happens.
We get a hook on that D.Va, but no follow through. and the New York team just making progress, pushing this payload forward. This is a good spot for ACU to hold back on. It's another choke point here where they can just try and hold off, but they do have some good sight lines that they're providing to that Widowmaker that is just tearing.
That Pharah ult
ACU
just
apart.
comes out at the perfect time. She manages to just pick off the McCree, so that's going to be a good ult down there for ACU. Maybe they can get a good hold of Hog here in a second. Push them all off that point.
So ACU just stalling out. We get the Coalescence coming in from ACU, keeping the team up and pushing New York back just a little bit.
This Brig is playing like she's a tank herself, but with that shield of only 500, and that's going to be melted very fast.
She does go down fairly quickly as she pushes forward, which means the rest of the team just kind of crumples behind her. We get yet another barrage coming in. Those are so quick.
That was the second barrage in under a minute right there from that Pharah. That is a smooth cap there by New York.
So New York is going to go into round 2 with, I think it's 4 minutes? 4 minutes
Just
left on the
about.
clock. Or sorry, 3 minutes left on the clock. And we're back in the alley while each team sets up. So ACU is going to be pushing this time. What do we think we're going to see here to try to counter this really solid Widowmaker play from the New York team?
So they're just going to have somebody that can just get in there and just lock down that Widow and keep her from getting picks on all of their squishies. So we might see a Diva that's just constantly trying to pick her out. Maybe a Genji that's hopefully going to be able to deflect some of those shots back in her face. But other than that, I'm not sure if they can push in hard enough past their tanks, because those tanks were locking down ACU so hard that there just wasn't any room for them to push.
We'll see what they do here. We have the Mercy from Finch of Light. Paco de Taco back over on that Zarya.
Looks like they're
Lindis on
running a Junk Pharah combo for the DPS. That Pharah might have a hard time if they're going to be running that Widow.
But I think the goal here is really just to kind of push through, punch through those tanks, build up those ultimates, and just punch through that wall so they can make some progress.
There we go with that Hanzo change by Mr. Bob Sparks. We'll see if he's able to do any counter sniping here, or maybe just knock down some shields for his team to just push in nice and hard.
Those storm arrows are really great at breaking down those Reinhardt or Orisa shields.
Looks like New York is running with a pharmacy combo that's just peeking over the top of that building. And a Tracer in the back lines as well. Or was that a Sombra? That's a Sombra.
So we've got Vinton Arc going over to the Sombra instead of that Widowmaker, but they're really just making good use. You can see the ACU team getting harassed the instant they came out of the door from that pharmacy up in the air, with Pharah flying along and Mercy behind, providing damage boosts and healing up when necessary.
The thing that New York is doing right on this hold here is that they are just constantly pegging down that Reinhardt shield. And I'm not sure if that Reinhardt's going to be very helpful, as he just gets completely wasted by a Pharah ult.
So we see the Wrecking Ball coming in here from the New York team, just making space, pushing ACU back, and keeping them all in an area that Pharah can just keep pegging them down. And you can see how quickly that New York Pharah is being able to build up that ultimate charge and get those really key pivotal ultimates. There's another one coming in from the Pharah.
But with that healer down for the New York team, that does open up some space for ACU to push in there, and it looks like they will take that opportunity, although they have just lost both their DPS and a massive hack from Sombra coming in. That's going to be the end of Lindis there.
So we see ACU trying to hold on here, but they're really going to have to back up and recollect. But we see just the stall out, this stagger coming in from the New York team to make sure ACU doesn't get a full 6 really easily or really quickly.
You know, I would expect for ACU to make some sort of change here to help counter just the pure tank busters that they have right now.
If they could pull out either a Widowmaker or something to get up, a McCree, something to take out that Pharah combo in the air, that would really let them push through a little bit. But they do get here on point. We'll see where we
coming from above. does not pick much off, just one tank there.
See, so we're getting a little bit of, we've gotten a little bit of work done on the point, so we get a hack off on Pocket to Taco. He's just holding on here as best as he can.
That Lucio just could not do too much healing there.
So Linda's just waiting for the rest of his team as they prepare to move forward. We see Seeds moving over to that Widow to try and just deal with that Pharah that's making such... And he does get that pick off on Pharah.
That's a beautiful pick, and they know that they need to take that point now.
So they're moving in together. We get the Graviton Surge coming in. Linda's just swinging away on the point, takes out Ranaklu. Pushing back Mario on the Diva. Does get Baby Diva out as well. And this is a good push from ACU. And they are going to take this point.
Although that Pharah coming back in might still have an ult up, and if she does, that's going to wipe the team. But she does not take the pick.
And now ACU is going to start making progress of their own on this payload. In order to have any hope, they're going to have to get it pushed all the way to the end, just like the New York team did. We see Seeds sticking on that Widowmaker just to try and harass from afar, because that really worked out well, taking out that Diva from the New York team.
See Ryan here just pushing and pushing and pushing up, trying to get some good space, trying to get some nice call-outs on where they are. And that Sombra hack mixed with that barrage is just devastating.
And the two ults used from the New York team.
Linda's just trying so hard just to get some damage out, just to stagger the New York team that isn't able to do any of it.
And so he ends up getting staggered himself, so ACU will need to wait for Reinhardt to respawn. Or not. Maybe they'll just go in, see what they can get done without him. They just recognize they need to move forward and get things going if they're going to have a chance to catch up to this New York team.
You see that Wrecking Ball just chilling up there, just waiting on the perfect time to just pound down, start killing everybody with those lines of his if he has that ult up. Does not look like he does right now. He's going to back out, get back to that team. Oh, a beautiful shatter coming out from Ryan.
But they will not able to have much follow through. We see the Transcendence coming out from New York there, just keeping their folks alive while ACU tries to get some work done here. It looks like the New York team has switched over to a Widowmaker of their own. Is that what I'm seeing correctly there?
I believe that is what is correct there. Probably going to try for some of those counter snipes, see what they can do. Actually, we've also switched over from the Widow to the Tracer on the ACU side.
We've got a McCree and Tracer. Hopefully do some long distance work here, but a sneaky barrage in from the back takes out Finch of Light and Mr. Bob Sparks.
The Hard Kicks does manage to get that pick on the Pharah afterwards, but that is one healer, now two healers and both DPS.
We have a late Graviton Surge coming in from Paco de Taco. Doesn't really manage to get any work done there on the point.
At this point, with both of your tanks down, you just want to regroup, just get your head straight, and get that one final push in.
So what do you think they're trying to do here with this Tracer?
I think the Tracer is mainly just going to be there just to try to get around behind them, try to just tank out those shields on that Hammond, and just see what he can do just to get some damage out. But it's not happening very well for him right now.
But while they're having this fight on top of the ceiling, ACU has made some progress on this payload. Now we did see Paco switch over from the Zarya onto the Winston, try and get into that backline, harass that Widowmaker that was causing so much trouble.
Beautiful pulse bomb from Leeds,
but does not connect with anybody relevant.
That's going to be the first match there.
So the New York team goes up 1-0. I got a play of the game from the New York Winston, Rona Kalu. Going to be this.
The beautiful ground pound there.
Well, and I expect we'll see him. Yeah, he tosses several people off, but this is right when he died, right there at the end.
That was a beautiful whole hog from Paco there as well.
So the teams are going to queue up and be ready for match 2, which is going to be a control match on Nepal. And so they're going to be getting ready. So based on what we saw on Eichenwald, what do we kind of expect that we're going to see in Nepal from ACU to try to counter some of those strong Widow players? So Nepal is a great Widow map.
Yes, it's a great Widow map. It's a great Pharah map. It's definitely going to be hard to lock down those DPS, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see a Diva, maybe we still see that Winston out there just to get in there and harass that backline. As far as our DPS go, it seemed like that match that they didn't really know what was going on. They kept switching, they kept trying to find something to work, something to pick that, so it might be a smart idea on them to just stick with what they know and see if their tanks can pick up the slack.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and some great play from the New York team there.
Yes.
That was just some solid Widow work, pointing and clicking heads, getting there.
Yeah, that Widow was great at locking him down, and the Hammond was actually pretty good about getting in there and just harassing their backline, getting the healers down, constantly knocking them up and keeping them from being able to move around. So be interesting to see if they keep that combo running as they go into this match, but we'll see.
So the teams are just getting set up, making sure that they are all ready to go, and as soon as that map loads in, we'll kick over there.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, here we are on Nepal. It looks like our first one is going to be, that's Temple, right?
I believe that is the correct name.
I don't remember all of the names of all of the sub-maps.
All I know is that this is the fun map to play far on, so...
Yeah, so what we're looking at right now is actually the control point. It's going to be right there at the center of the map. Each team will come in from one side. It's got a lot of opportunity for some good Widow play here. If they can grab some good sight lines up on the sides, like you said, some good Pharah play where you can hide around those columns but still get some rockets in on that point.
Looks like we're just getting a stock image on that loading screen because we are not playing on that map.
No,
we are playing on Sanctum instead.
And so this is the Pit of Death room.
Yes, it is.
And so we see that
Orisa coming out from Lindis there. That's going to be very helpful. They are actually running a 3-tank run here, so it looks like maybe trying some goats, quite possibly. So, yep, with that Brigida and Lucio pushing in and trying to see.
Catch what that other. Oh, so we've got the Moira coming in from the back.
Moira's lagging
so
behind.
They're going to come in straight in the middle and decide that we're going to set up. This is our home, and you cannot take it from us.
That actually works out a little bit in their favor with the New York team being on the other side, but that hog just gets completely destroyed by a Lucio boob.
So ACU making a little bit of progress here, but I don't expect New York to New York just doesn't get on point. Lets ACU take over that first point.
Lindis did get a beautiful double halt there on the McCree.
There's a return boop for the Roadhog on the
Beautiful
New York
boop.
side, just pushing him off the edge. So we got ACU holding strong here on the first point of Sanctum.
You see a lot of teams kind of push up right where our Lucio is right now, but I think the smart thing for ACU to do right now would just be to hold that point as hard as possible and just wait. We see that Far Mercy combo coming in.
And so we see the New York team kind of coming around the back a little bit, try to catch ACU out of position as much as possible. But ACU managed to hold on here for a little while.
Seeds gets a beautiful boop on that Hammond there to knock him right into the pit.
Ooh, that was a close one from Paco de Taco, almost getting thrown in himself. We do get the sound barrier coming out from the ACU Lucio, giving some health just to make sure that we hold off.
I feel like that sound barrier was a little unneeded at that time as the New York team was slowly staggering out there. But
Get a hook on to the Wrecking Ball, but he puts up his shields and there's no good follow through from ACU. So the New York team will take this point back from ACU.
And I fully expect ACU to change up something here to deal with that Pharah. It does not look like they have changed anything though.
And Hard Cakes with the long stagger here. So ACU's going to have to wait for him to respawn so they can get back out while the New York team builds up some of their own percentage.
And hearing some of the chatter between the ACU team in the past couple weeks, they do have a hard time dealing with goats. They've gotten a lot better when it comes to pushing with goats, but as you see that Diva Bomb come out, that is just devastating on that brig. New York just continually push that.
So New York just pushing forward onto ACU's side of the field, just cleaning them up.
Hoping that ACU will take some notes here about countering the GOATS comp. See if that can help them out later on in their matches later.
My ultimate is ready. Join me.
So ACU preparing to kind of move in. Unfortunately, there's hacked packs all over from the New York team. We have the Graviton Surge coming in.
Only picking one person though.
Oh, and a sound barrier came out from them to just counter that.
But that barrage is just too much to handle. As well as having those Hammond mines down, just blocking their push entirely.
So ACU's going to back off again. And have to move in together one more time.
Probably have one, maybe two good pushes. It just depends on if they can even get past this first choke.
New York holding strong here at a really far forward choke point. ACU moving around side with using the sound barrier to move forward, try to establish themselves in on the point.
See ACU swap over to that Reaper there, hoping to get some sort of pick on either some of their squishies or just get Diva out of that mech.
ACU kind of all over the place with the New York team.
That is a full
them
team wipe right there at the end.
So New York is going to take the first point on Nepal. And ACU is going to regroup as we move into the second round. So it looks like our second round is going to be on Village. So we're going to have a small hut in the middle of the map that the teams are going to have to control.
Yep, I know from experience here that a Junkrat or a Mei can be devastating on this map. I don't know if the New York team will run either of those as they aren't very strong with them. But they might not need to with how good that Far Mercy combo was doing them this last round.
It looks like ACU is keeping with two healers. They've got the Soldier and the Reaper. They're going to take a long way around back. This isn't Village. This is Temple. But we still have
the maps just keep tricking us. That's all right.
Yeah, we still have a central point here that's kind of indoors. But this is where we might see some good Pharah or Widow play from the New York team.
And that Diva flank was just devastating for Seeds there. He had no idea that that was even coming for him.
So New York's going to take a quick cap here. It looks like there was one of the ACU members on the point. It looks like Hard Cakes was just trying to hold something out there, but he gets cleaned up pretty rapidly.
It's good to see that our DPS has switched over to playing just multiple hit scans so that they can just do as much damage as possible against that pharmacy combo.
And ACU moving in once again from this left top side. Looks like Mr. Bob Sparks has switched over to that Widow. Try to get a pick off onto that Pharah.
They're just going to keep on pushing up in that left side, but that D.Va knows that they're going to be there, and she just keeps flying up, shooting missiles in their faces. That's not going to be good for those health bars.
Taco finds himself out of point on a 2v1, and as you'd expect, he goes down. Linda's following shortly thereafter.
You see the New York team is confident that they know that they've got enough charge on that point that if they lose it right now, they can still recap it. So they're pushing up hard on the ACU team here.
The ACU's going to come straight forward, try to push in.
Lindis is just about to have that hammer up. He's probably going to be trying to look for something here in a second.
But he's trying to block two different sides.
Oh, and that
D.Va
perfectly
takes
timed
Lindis
hack.
down. Now, there's some good cleanup from the ACU team. We get the ultimate coming out, the tactical visor coming in from Seeds, getting several picks off on New York, cleaning things up off the point, taking out their final stragglers here, and swapping things over, and they're going to start building their own. But ACU's going to have to do a really hard hold here. They have to keep it basically the entire time. One good push from the New York team will spell doom for the ACU team. And if we see them go down here, that's the end of it. There is no third match. There is no third map of Nepal. We're done.
See that the New York team is just pushing hard on that right side, just trying to get behind their flanks and just manage to pick off their healers as quickly as possible and get behind that Rhine shield. I do believe that Lindis is still sitting on that Shatter.
You see the Coalescence coming in from ACU, just trying to heal their team up. We get the Shatter coming in with a charge in, but he has no follow through.
Looks like the New York team got a perfect sound barrier out.
An EMP coming in, just hacking out the rest of the ACU team. It just gets cleaned up, and New York will pull this point back to their side. See Bob Sparks coming in just to get that overtime wick, but nobody else is there to follow up, and so New York will take ACU out in pretty quick fashion, taking them up 2-0 and closing out this series for both teams. And here I expect to see that this is one of those barrages coming in from the Pharah. They just really did a good job with clearing out this ACU team.
That was a perfectly timed EMP there to just help with that Pharah to just clean up everything.
So that was a disappointing match for ACU, but it was some good play on both sides.
Yeah, it was definitely something that they can learn from, pick up from, and keep on learning, keep going from there. And
Sure. So what do you think ACU needs to do after fighting that really strong New York team? What can ACU do to come back?
I think the biggest thing is they just got super psyched out. They knew this team was going to be better than them. They came in on a loss already from their earlier game today. But I think that if they were able to just keep that head on straight, just take it one game at a time, and just figure out, all right, what's their strong points? What do we need to counter from there? Just going from map to map. I think that's definitely going to be something to help them out in the future.
All right. Well, there you have it. The New York team taking out ACU in this particular round. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we've got a special interview tonight. We're going to be talking with Huntley, who has kind of headed up this esports program, gotten things rolling, and I think we've got a couple announcements tonight as well. So stick around, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
back. I've got with me Huntley. He has really kind of spearheaded this esports initiative here at ACU, and so all of this that's happening has been a result of some of his work. So I wanted to give an opportunity for him to introduce himself, and then I've got some questions. So start with just telling us a little about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Hunter Wood, and I've kind of been helping out with the esports program here on campus. I'm a junior, I'm a business major. I just love esports. Yeah, it's kind of like I'm a huge gamer and just saw the ability for esports to be possible on campus and just started asking administration if this might be a possibility and ended up happening. So, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the esports program. What is it all about?
So the esports program is just basically equipping college students with so that they can compete in college leagues, right? So I come from a Call of Duty background. I love competing, but I think there are a lot of kids on campus or in gaming who don't know how to get a team or play with the team, so they end up just solo queuing all by themselves all the time. And I think that's fun, but I think gaming it was made to be with people, and I think esports is a great way to do that. So I thought maybe there might be interest on campus for esports, and I just wanted to. Basically, it's all about empowering college students to play with one another and on a team, so they can build a community.
So tell us a little bit about the story of how this all got started. What did you do?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did we get to this point today where we're streaming Overwatch?
Yeah, so when I came in as a freshman, I basically sat in my dorm room and played games by myself all day long because I didn't make a lot of friends. I think it's just you don't really know how to make friends on campus if you don't know the right people. So I sat in my dorm room. So I wanted a group of guys. I kind of wanted this as a freshman. It just didn't happen. So I met a guy through club, and he's like, "Dude, like, let's do an esports program." So I made this PowerPoint presentation and then went to like the second in command of ACU and said, "Hey, just hear me out for an hour." And we ended up having like a 2 hour conversation about esports, and he thought it was a good idea. And then just I got very lucky and thankful. We have a good administration who cares about their students. So
So what were your motivations for getting this program rolling?
motivations for one, I want to work in esports, so this is a great way to kind of get your foot in the doorway. I come from like a big background of esports, like I've been competing, I've been really involved, and I saw that collegiate esports was becoming like actually serious, not just some weird side thing, but like an actual legitimate thing, like TeSPA, the C Star League, and stuff like that. I just thought that uh, it should happen on campus, and my motivation was just I wanted to make more friends on campus through gaming, and I think that ACU had the people and the ability to do so.
Great.
Yeah.
So big question. Let's say we've got a student out there watching this that wants to get involved.
Yeah.
How do you get involved with the esports program here at ACU?
Right. So we do have the email. The ACU is at ACU.
ACU esports at acu.edu.
Right. So if you email that, you'll get in contact with one of us. And I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people, the biggest question I get is, do I need to be good? Do I need to be like top 500? Do I need to be like tier one player? Well, you don't really have to be. That's helpful, but I do think that most people that do play are more on the casual side, right? And for example, our Overwatch team, none of them have any past competitive experience besides solo queue. So from all of them, this is their first time ever competing on an actual team. So if you just solo queue all the time and like you enjoy like playing ranked or playing competitive, I think that you should get involved because it makes gaming way better. And a lot of these guys after I think they've been playing for about a month together. After this whole month, they've said like this has been the most fun they've ever had with gaming is getting to play on a team. Even though matches, sometimes
Yeah.
they lose, but just that the community get to have and that like them getting to play for like a purpose of just solo queuing makes it a lot more fun. So
Sure. Well, and I will say, we also have a form that was just put out.
yeah.
If you're here in Twitch right now, at the bottom of this page, you're gonna find a link that you can fill out a form. It's an interest form. We also have just launched a website. So if you go to acu.edu/esports, we've got a web page there. It's got the same link for getting involved in terms of interest. And we're looking for all sorts of people, whether you're interested in playing, whether you're interested in competing, whether you're interested in coaching or managing a team, if you are interested in casting like we've had tonight. So Peep Noob is another one of our students here that was interested in casting, and so it's a great opportunity to get your voice heard. If you're interested in writing, we're looking
Yeah.
for some writers to write up our games and post them on our site, get some experience there. And finally, we also have something we're starting tonight that's our stream squad. And so you've been watching this channel for Overwatch and Hearthstone matches, but that's only twice a week.
Yeah.
And so we're opening up our channel for y'all to stream on it. And so also at the bottom of this page and on our site, you'll find a link to sign up to be in our stream squad. There will be some requirements you have to meet because you are representing ACU while you're streaming, but we can give you the opportunity for you to stream on this ACU Esports channel and just help support our esports team.
Yeah.
And we're moving towards having our own Twitch team on the Twitch site through Twitch Student, which will eventually allow people to support us through Twitch Prime subscriptions and that kind of thing. So we're looking forward to helping build the program through some of that. So if you're interested in any of those, see the form at the bottom of this Twitch page and sign up, put your info in, and we'll be in touch with you. Any last words before we?
I mean, if you're at all interested in esports, please reach out. You really can't get a no answer from us. I mean, if you want to be involved, we can get you plugged in some way or form. Whether or not you put on a team at the top level is up to you. But I think that there's a place for you here on campus if you want to be involved. So please don't sit in your dorm room. Please get out and come hang out with us, because don't do what I did. You need to be involved with the community, and I think this is a great way. Even if you don't want to do competitive stuff, maybe you just want to play casually, we have that kind of opportunity for you as well. So if you're all interested on gaming on campus and maybe interested in the idea of esports or competitive gaming, please let us know and reach out to us on our email or on the website and let us know so we can get in contact with you. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to be back here in just a couple minutes with another interview with Mr. Bob Sparks to talk a little bit about the match that we just watched. So stick around and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. I've got with me Mr. Bob Sparks here. He was playing on the team tonight, so talk to us a little bit about what happened tonight.
Yeah. And there's so much to talk about. Honest. There's so much we can work on. There's so much to learn from. Losses are honestly where you learn the most. I'm excited to go back and see what we can fix. Obviously, I'm pretty angry at myself. My shots were off, and that's just some days it be that way, you know. We also after our first loss, we were kind of angry about that because it was definitely borderline. We could have won it, and we hadn't practiced in a while. Our team communication was very low. Just all in all, rough couple games. But I mean that happens.
Yeah.
As always, we're not the Shanghai Dragons. We're not and we haven't gone without a win
You've
yet.
won some
That's
things,
right.
right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But we're definitely finishing the night pretty angry. Obviously, we'd love to come off with a win, but it's not always that way, and just need to put in more time practicing as a team and put in the work for it.
So let's talk a little bit about the maps. So on Eichenwald, you all started out defending,
Yes,
and they made some pretty good progress there.
they did.
What could you guys have done differently to hold that off?
So I frustratedly picked Sombra. I'm sure y'all saw that. I had been playing her quite a bit in the competitive season, and I really enjoyed the way that they work, that she works with the team, you know. But they pushed through, rather than pushing through the main choke, they went to, if you're defending on the left side, there's a little room they can go through, and they pushed through there, and that really threw us off. We've never seen that before. And then from there we got split up. So many targets were being yelled. We weren't focusing. And then it was just a rough defense. But, yeah, excited to go back and try it again because that was a rough push. But
Yeah. So then you guys switched over to attack, and y'all managed to capture the payload and make some progress on it.
Yes, we did.
But kind of stalled out there right under that bridge.
yeah. A lot of that I think is obviously their Pharah was insane, you know.
Yeah.
And then that high ground really gives the defense an advantage there. Their Widow was on high ground, and we did not have any vertical mobility with our heroes. We were, I was, McCree. We had a soldier, and right at the end, Paco de Taco switched to Winston, which. In a game like that, in the heat of the moment, it's really hard to go at the time to rationally think, about what the team is. And we should have made that swap a lot earlier to help with the high ground that they had. But I think that we were just frustrated. Obviously, whenever you have one person on the other team who is just absolutely rolling you, it's really hard to play in the normal mindset that you normally do. So.
Okay, so then we switched over to Nepal, starting out on Sanctum, and y'all made a really good first hold there, right?
I that was awesome. We had Lindis over there had an insane pool with Arisa and got 2, and then Hardcakes over there with the boop from Lucio, and that we really played the environmental kills to our advantage. We really tried hard, but it's capture or King of the Hill like that is very hard once you lose the point to retake it, especially with whenever they were playing as aggressive as their team was, whenever they were pushed into our spawn, so it was just a really good push at the start. We had a couple very good boops, played the environment well, and then after that we we just kind of stopped playing as a team. But I mean, that's what Overwatch is about. It's always hard to keep it always going in your favor. And the enemy team did a really good job of turning it around on us.
Sure. And so on that second temple map of Nepal there, we saw a lot of just backline scrimmaging happening from the other team, where they would just get back there and do some harassing back there.
Right. Yes, their Diva and their Sombra were just. I mean, there was one time I hooked up as Widow. I was looking for the pharmacy, and out of nowhere I was like, I'm getting shot at. Where is that from? And I turned to my right, and there's a D.Va and a Sombra all the way in the back line trying to 2v6 our team. So it's always they just played really far up, very aggressive, which it's a very difficult play style to keep your mentality against, because once they cap the point and they play so far up on you, even if you get a team wipe, you still have to push all the way from your spawn to the point, and it's just they have more time to get back. It's that aggressive play style is very hard to turn around,
Yeah.
once they get it going in their favor.
Well, you got a lot to look at, a lot of plays to unpack as you review some of the video, and
Right.
just make sure that you guys learn from it and move forward. So great work tonight in general, and
thank you.
thanks for letting us stream your games. Thank you guys for watching tonight. It's been great casting this. I want to thank Meximelt and Clueless for running our production team tonight, and we have a Hearthstone team tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, so tune in at that point for that game. It should
Absolutely.
be
I know I will be watching the stream. That's going to be awesome.
and tune in throughout the rest of the week as we kick off our stream squad, and so you'll start seeing some additional content.
That's right.
Some of it will be some Overwatch and Hearthstone, but we're going to get some other things in there, some competitive, some less competitive, but just some things that you can watch, while you're doing other things.
Absolutely. I know some of the Overwatch guys were definitely. We went into a quick play game before, and we ran all healers and one Bastion.
There you
So
go.
it was great. Yeah, we'll have some fun stuff like that going on.
All right. Well, have a great night, and thanks for joining us.